Oh, hey. Disclaimer. This is for educational purposes only. There are no firearm sales. There is no way to buy guns through this YouTube channel. We don't do any of that here. I actually brought some notes for this one because there's a lot to talk about. So, the gun we're talking about today is the Springfield Armory Emissary. And at its guts, this is just a 4.25 inch 1911, so chambered in 45. This one comes optics cut. I use the AOS system, which is awesome. It's got some serrations on the front. Really cool. I mean, I really like these sights right off the bat. These sights are pretty great. Looks like the grenade pattern as far as the front stippling, and that's very effective. And then they've got G10, you know, sort of at the same stippling there, also on the mainspring. And these grips are very thin. And I really like that. It also has the full length dust cover, which looks amazing. And that's the first pro I'll talk about with this gun. Let me wipe some of these fingerprints off. This gun looks so badass. And that's one of the first things that brought me to it. And I know, there's other things that are very important for guns, and we'll get to that in a minute, but this gun just looks so rad. And that was one of the main things that drew me to it. It's like, I want to open up my safe or my drawer and I see this thing sitting in there and it's beautiful. So anyways, the looks are amazing. The shooting experience is very good, meaning, when you're shooting this gun, it feels good. It returns to zero quickly. You can shoot it pretty fast. And a lot of that has to do with how beefy this gun is. This gun's about 40 ounces unloaded. The trigger's really good. We got a flat trigger on there, as you can see. And again, full length dust cover, oh God, it just looks rad. Sexual. We've only got the safety on one side, and there's no real frills as far as a mag well or anything like that. So that's the good stuff, which that list is pretty short. And it's tough to talk about the bad ones because I did trade in a really nice 1911 that I had, a 5-inch. I wanted to go down to the 4.25 because, carrying around a 5-inch full-size horse is tough. But that gun never gave me any problems, and I thought that this one wouldn't either, but the problems happened almost immediately. So let's talk about those. The first issue was the gun came really dirty. And you would think that we wouldn't have issues when the gun comes dirty because they were testing it, They were testing it at the factory. But the gun just came dirty and still didn't work 100%, which immediately pissed me off. One of the things that I noticed getting it right out of the box, and also just look at that thing. The thing's beautiful. Bull barrel. You do need a tool to get this fully broken down because the guide rod, it's that little hole that you got to put like a paper clip through. They give you a tool for that, but still, I don't much like that, but it's something I could get around. Anyways, the gun came so dirty that without a mag in it and me pulling the slide back, it would stay locked to the rear because there was so much dirt and grime and gunk in it. Well, not dirt, it was carbon. So, that was like, if you're gonna test the gun, why not make sure it's good to go before sending it to the customer? Furthermore, like that looks like a used gun. So I don't blame the customers, but that is me just telling you guys how things are. Come on. I barely have the gun apart. This came right from the factory to our FFL. So gun came super dirty, had to clean it to get it to be functional. Also, while I was cleaning it, I noticed that there was really obvious tooling marks inside the frame, right under here where the guide rod is. And that was like, come on, for what we're paying for this gun, you could at least have cleaned it up, in the overall sort of fit and finish of it. I will say the fitment is very good. There's no wobble at all in this gun. And, I had this going up against like one of the new TRPs, And the TRPs have some pretty obvious wobble. So that one I was like, oh, okay, this gun's a little tighter. And I'm even seeing right now, looking at it, other tooling marks at the ejection port. So that's cool. Anyways, tooling marks, gun came super dirty. Overall fitment and attention to detail, not good. I mean, if I was a guy that was making these things, I wouldn't feel good about how this came off the line. The grip screws are garbage. Anybody that knows 1911s knows that if you're going to use G10 grips or these sort of synthetic grips that aren't wood, you need rubber washers in there, because if it's wood, the screws will bite into it and kind of squish it down. But if you don't have the rubber washers in synthetic grips on a 1911, those screws are going to work themselves out, and that's precisely what happened with this gun. The screws all started to walk out in about 100 rounds, so I had to crank them down. And in doing so, guess what? I rounded a couple of them off because the screws suck and they're a very small head that you need to put in there. So that's already not great. We're already not off to a great start. Okay. Mag compatibility. My gold standard for 1911s is running the 10-round Wilson Combat mags. And all of the good 1911s that I've ran have never had a problem with those mags. This one did. You'll see it in the video a couple of times. We had trouble with a full mag feeding that first round off the chamber. And these aren't brand new mags. These are mags that have been used, so the spring's not super tight. And again, in all my other good 1911s, it works just fine. So take that for what it is. But for me, as far as a defensive handgun, because you only have, your standard capacity is pretty low with this, you're going to have a 10-rounder in your pocket. And if you're not able to run full capped 10-rounders, that's a no-go. We're not doing that. What's another? In the video, you do see it not go to slide lock a couple of times, but that's me. That was me kind of running my thumb over the slide lock, because I did eventually put an extended Wilson Combat slide release slide lock on here, and it was me kind of riding over the top of it. But anyways, I put the old one back on here. But yeah, mag compatibility, not good. The mags that it comes with work just fine. These 8-round, these look like Mech-Gar, yeah, 8-round Mech-Gar mags. Works just fine, but if it's not going to run those 10-round Wilsons, I'm not into it. And I think it actually did choke on one of the mags that it comes with in the video. You'll have to see for yourself. So mag compatibility, not great. I didn't even get to the point of mounting an optic because this gun had kind of just pissed me off so bad that I was sort of over it, done with it. And you'll see, my frustration in the video. You'll see me start to shoot. You'll see my rounds, I'm starting to shoot left. And what's going on there is the sight, the grip screw had come out of the sight, and the sight was starting to walk itself off. You guys remember me saying I was shooting left. Well, grips are coming loose, rear sight's coming off. So, that's just not the type of behavior I'm expecting from a gun that is this expensive coming from the factory, right? I have higher expectations. Perhaps my expectations are too high, where I want my grip screws, my sight screw, I want those to work. I want the gun to work overall. I don't want it to have crazy tooling marks all over it, those sort of things. Call me crazy. But yeah, you can kind of see me in the video working through some of this stuff. And, a lot of these things can be remedied. You can polish, you can tune the springs, you can get different screws, you can do all of that stuff. But I didn't get this gun to be a project gun. I got it so that it would work out of the box. Anyways, still, would it be cool to, if you're gonna go into this gun knowing that you're gonna be changing a lot of things to it, then sure, the base gun itself is pretty good. And like I said, the looks and the shooting experience are excellent. But that's about where it ends. So here, you can see some of the shooting videos or some of the shooting, footage, and let me know what you think. This is just one gun. Springfield makes a ton of guns, and maybe I just got a bad one, so you got to take that for what it is as well. Their warranty and things like that are all pretty good, so sure, I could send it in and do all that work, but I'm not going to. Okay. Springfield Armory Emissary. These are not my actual first shots. I shot it at a range a little while ago, and there were some things going on that I'll talk about in the tabletop. But for now, let's just run this thing, see how we like it, get used to it. I've been shooting 9mm all day. It did not like these Wilson Combat 10 rounders last time. And we got the same thing again, which to me, a low capacity gun like this, it has to run these Wilson 10 rounders. That was me riding the slide stop and also flinching real hard. Where's my last mag? Here's a Wilson Combat 8 rounder. Okay, that one ran. I want to be clear. I want this gun to work. I really like the shooting experience. It is a little left. That's not me, for you guys saying that's just me. It is a little bit left, but I really like how this gun shoots. I like how it looks. I like how it feels. I just want it to run. All right, we're gonna try 3 different mags here. And this gun is oiled, this gun's lubricated. Again, I'm trying to give it every chance. Okay, there we go. That's the 10 rounder that didn't work a second ago. Didn't hold back, I think that was me. Let's do another 10 rounder. Didn't hold back again. Again, that might be me. And then this is a Act Mag Italian made 7 rounder. So that ran pretty good. And that one locked open. So I don't know. The not running 10 rounders is actually a deal breaker for me. I know some of you guys are just like, well, it's the mag. It's not a problem. It's a mag related issue. But I have never once had any of my 1911s not feed off those Wilson Combat 10 rounders. They're my gold standard. So, and especially if I'm going to be carrying a gun that's low capacity, I'm going to have probably at least 1 or 2 of those Wilson Combat 10 rounders in my pocket or in my person or something like that. So it's tough. Like I said, I really like this gun, but that's going to be a no-go if we can't sort that out. All right, you guys know me. I don't really feel comfortable with a gun until I do like a walk and shoot type of scenario. So we're gonna do a little bit of that and go from there. Wilson Combat 10 rounder ran right there. Just try to get used to each other. Whoop. Yikes. Not the best start. I am not sure what happened there. That might have been grip safety. Definitely throwing some left. We're gonna keep going. I'll try to get these all in the head then. You guys remember me saying I was shooting left. Well, grips are coming loose, rear sight's coming off. Just a day today. I was missing there. I thought it was me. Couldn't be me.